Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I'm Stephanie and today's reading is about you and your person, how you are each viewing this connection, as well as what is going on within it. So this is going to be a person A and person B style, obviously, because we're going to have two perspectives on the current connection at hand. The connection can be a committed partnership, it could be a situationship, even a crush scenario, whatever's going on between you and your person of interest, we're going to be looking at. But we have three piles here for you today. Pile 1 with this pink tea light candle. Pile 2, we have this green, almost teal tea light candle. And pile 3, we have a purple tea light candle. So think of you and your partner. Maybe take a few deep breaths, clear the energy, and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the pink candle, then we have a reading here for you today about you and your partner or your person in mind and what's going on in this connection. So I'm going to start by lighting this candle, and if you're interested in my rechargeable lighter, I'll have a link for it in the description. It's pretty fun. It kind of feels like a wand almost whenever I use it, but let's move on to the reading. We're going to start with some connecting cards and then person A, person B. I am intending for you to be person A, but if person B resonates more with you, you can do that as well. But regardless, we're going to see what's going on in this connection. Let's start with the card you chose. We have one more try. Give your relationship another chance. This card is a sign that a connection is not over and that both parties will still have a path to go together. It is worth fighting for this love. Oh, that's interesting. I accidentally turned off the candle. Maybe somebody made a wish, because the first thing that came to mind was that I feel like this connection got snuffed out earlier than it was supposed to. It could be a false start kind of energy as well. But I feel like somebody was trying to self-sabotage in this connection, and or maybe the both of you were trying to self-sabotage, and it ended before it really began, or did something about it not being allowed to get off the ground. But let's move on. We have plan a vacation, number 39. So going away on a trip could benefit the both of you so that you can really focus on each other and nurture those things that make you work as a couple. And relaxation. Yeah, make sure it's a relaxing vacation, not one where you're running around doing a lot of stuff. I feel like a beach vacation or a mountain vacation, something in nature would definitely benefit you, or at least somewhere like in a small sleepy town, one where there's not a lot going on, because there's something about both of these energies liking to get things done. So if you're surrounded by a lot of stimulating activities or things, or if you're in a city, it's going to distract from both of you, from each other. So let's start with person A. We have oh, you got two of the marble cards. We have Nightcrawler. In my eyes, I am beautiful. We also have Black Panther. Wear the crown with honor. Person A, you, if this is you, you've done a lot of work on self-love. And it shows through knowing that you accept yourself for what you are and who you are. With Nightcrawler here, who's like one of the weirder looking X-Men, which is odd because a lot of them look weird. But I think they give Nightcrawler a lot of attention because he's just so pure-hearted and so loving. And he also has pretty awful parents. So I don't know if you grew up in an environment that was not the best for you. But growing up in an environment like that can make you feel rather ugly inside and or out, you know. So I feel like you've definitely come up from this kind of energy to accept that you are a beautiful, talented, vibrating human being, vibrating with love and light is what I meant. And then wear the crown with honor. Again, there's a sense of being able to carry yourself proudly, or at the very least there's some kind of grace to you. You definitely don't come off as somebody who's had the kind of past that you have had, person A. We also have death, and with this I'm getting Scorpio energy, definitely a rebirth of some kind. Of course, you also have Black Panther, and those movies, and the character himself deals with a lot of death. Well, that family, I guess, because I'm thinking of the second movie where Suri is dealing with literally everybody's death. So maybe you yourself have also dealt with actual death, but I am getting more rebirth or something needing to end in order for you to truly become the empowered person that you are always meant to be. Both of those movies are really great. But the second one, especially if you haven't seen it, due to Marvel fatigue, I recommend that you watch Pile A or Person A. We also have Wombat Spirit, Be at Home. So yeah, Person A is somebody who's very much comfortable in their own skin. This is somebody who knows what they want, knows what they're worth. And it's very simple. Like, I feel like they're not somebody who's looking for complication in relationships or any kind of, if it gets complicated, if it gets muddled and messy, they're quick to back out, or they just don't want to indulge in that any further than they need to, because they know what they're made of. They know what they want. They know what they expect. Person A in this connection is just, they're not taking any nonsense when it comes to love and relationships, and even in their friendships and maybe work situation as well, but especially in their romantic connections. They're somebody who wants somebody who is the real deal. They want somebody to settle down with. If they want a family, they want somebody who wants a family as well. Whatever that they want, they need to make sure that whoever they are with also wants the exact same thing, or is at the very least comfortable with what they want. But let's go on to Person B. I'm channeling Person A very strongly. Let's see, we have Hulk, Think First, Smash Later. We also have Ideation. And Turtle Spirit, Slow and Steady Wins the Race. So there's a lot of green on Person B. But I do get the feeling that they are, or at least were at some point, somebody who would do things first and then think later. Like, they would smash first, think later. Because I'm pretty sure with the Hulk here, there's somebody who didn't really think about the consequences of their actions, not because they couldn't or were incapable of it. It's more like, it's a bit of survival energy here, where if they didn't choose something or do something, they felt that there would be some sort of penalty or that they would miss out on something. Definitely FOMO here, especially in their younger years. But Person B kind of struggles with having to connect the thinking aspect of doing things and the doing. So there might be, how do I put this? I'm trying to think of a good way to say this without being confusing. But yeah, they definitely used to think first, or sorry, do things first and then think later. And now they're in this energy where they're having to think things first and then take action. But I feel like it's actually been quite of a struggle for them, or at the very least, it's taking longer than it should. I feel like because they have to think first, it's making them be a little bit more slow when it comes to especially big decisions, like maybe switching jobs or getting into a connection, or even maybe even small things like what to have for breakfast. They may skip breakfast altogether because they didn't know what they wanted to start their day off with. So now they're doing brunch, lunch, or whatever it is. It's that kind of energy. It's a little bit Libra, where they can be indecisive, not because they can't make a decision, but because there's just so much to consider. It's a little bit heavy. Honestly, this energy is a bit heavy when it comes to, they might be an overthinker, and no hate there. I'm an overthinker sometimes as well. But there's something about creation here with ideation. And I may actually look at the book for this. I typically don't, but there's something about wanting to start something. But there's there's been a lot of thoughts on Person B's mind, and I feel like this aspect of them might be a reason why this connection is kind of you could be in separation right now, or you could just be going through a lull where you're like not sure whether you should stay together or separate. So they could benefit more from relaxation, because the orange is calling the orange moon here. But yeah, something about Person B being in their head a lot more than they should, when there's somebody who's very used to taking action, somebody who's very used to doing and then everything working out, or doing and then dealing with the consequences of their actions. Like, they don't mind the consequences. I feel like they're prepared for anything. But when it comes to somebody like Person A, who is so sure of themselves, who has themselves figured out, who knows how to make a decision with lightning speed, Person B is kind of daunted. Like, they don't want to mess up, both for themselves, Person A, and this connection. I feel like, yeah, there's they're kind of aware that they're on different wavelengths when it comes to how they go about through life, but there's something here that connects them, and I feel like we'll look at that in the tarot, as well as maybe through this vacation or relaxation time that you both need. Because I'm even looking at how the characters in this, on person A's side, they're not looking at person B. It might be person A who decided that they should split, or that they need a break or some time apart, because person A would be the one to make the decision. I feel like person A makes a lot of the decisions in this connection, and that could be part of the reason that person B is having trouble with decisions. Like, they're used to person A calling the shots. They're used to person A having everything planned out for them, and maybe person A was tired of that, carrying far too much in this connection, and has asked person B to do a bit more. But person B is taking their time, and person A doesn't like that, because to person A, this indecision can feel like, it can feel like several things. It can feel like cowardice. It can feel like chickening out. It could feel like maybe they're rethinking this connection, and the lack of mental security that person B is exhibiting is kind of off-putting to person A. And there's not to say there's no love here, because there's still a lot of, there's a sense that they want to make things work. So I'm not sure if this connection has been going on for quite a while, or if it's a new connection. Well, if it's a new connection, I feel like the beginning, like getting into the connection itself, is something that might be, let's say this is the dating stages. Like, person B has trouble committing to person A because they're not quite sure whether they want to, and it could be because person B came from a background, or maybe their last relationship was just something that fell apart very, very drastically. They don't want to be hurt again, so they want to take things slow and steady. But person A just wants somebody that they can finally settle down with and commit. I am getting like Aries vibes from person A, or even Leo, somebody who demands, one, clear and honest communication about what it is that they want, and two, commitment. And those are kind of heavy orders to be asking. So it's not surprising that person B wants to take it slow, because they don't know if they can offer this to person B is taking it slow. They don't know if they can offer this to person A. But there is a sense, especially with relaxation and plan a vacation, that this connection could benefit from going away for a moment and like truly listening to each other. Maybe having a conversation even on this vacation, or on this trip. Even if it's not actually a vacation, it could just be like, maybe the both of you take some time off together from your jobs and spend it within your own home, your own town, somewhere where you can really give each other the attention you need. Because I really feel like there's a clear lack of communication here, or at the very least a lack of understanding. And it's not that it's an understanding that can't be compromised, or where you can't come to a compromise. It's more that you're not willing to listen to each other right now as you are, without at least giving yourself a set amount of time to, one, give each other another try, and to make things work. Yeah, I feel like it has been a bit imbalanced, because there's a bit more being given from person A to person B. And that's not saying person B can't give as much as person A. When I think of turtles and even the Hulk, these are massive animals. The Hulk is huge, but when the Hulk isn't the Hulk, he's Bruce Banner, this intelligent, very accomplished scientist who is capable of like the sweetest love. I love Bruce Banner, the human. Like I he's very sweet. He's nothing like the Hulk. So it's almost like there's two sides to person B, and maybe person B hasn't shown both of those sides in equal amounts to person A. Because I feel like person A does see that there's that Bruce Banner under the Hulk. Like, there's that sweet, loving person, but all they seem to be getting is the Hulk, which is somebody who's just, going around. I was going to say going around smashing things, but that implies several other things. But going around just doing stuff, doing Hulk stuff, and being a bit of a Person B might be a party animal. I do feel like person B is more social. And then there's the turtle here, who turtles live forever, especially, I forget what the specific species of turtle is, but they can live to be hundreds of years old. So person B is willing to go to distance. They have the capacity to give a lot of commitment and a lot of love in this connection, but they're taking their time because they don't want to be hurt again. They don't want to make the wrong decision. They're just a bit wounded, is what I'm seeing, or what I'm feeling, really. And maybe that's something they admire in person A, how they were able to come up from their background. Let me get the book for this card. I do want to say before I do that, though, I really feel like you, pile 1, could be either or in this connection. I was feeling a bit more person A, but I'm also thinking person B now. But regardless, I feel like both of these energies are very strong in this connection because you both feel very deeply about it. But let's see what ideation. There could be something person B is trying to create here before this connection moves on. Because maybe, especially if they have a job where projects take forever to get off the ground, they could be planning a specific project before they start this that they know will take up a lot of their time or energy. They could be seeking a promotion that, again, takes more time to get there. But there is something that they are planning or they are trying to create that could also be getting in the way. And I feel like this is why a vacation or some time away together could really benefit the both of you, so they don't have to focus on that. And it's funny, I know this card looks orange or maybe red in the camera, and it does in real life too, but this is actually considered pink because I had trouble looking for it in the book. The book goes by color. So this is actually pink, which makes me think of the heart chakra, or even children. Because I've been told that when somebody is pregnant, they glow pink. So maybe person B is having to consider having children if they're the person who is able to have children. But regardless, take that if it resonates, of course. Ideation. This card is about the growth of ideas and new projects in your life. Now is the time to focus on creating a safe space for your creative endeavors. This moment is just for you and your project. Let your ideas grow while you nurture and care for them. Enjoy this special time. I'm hearing for some people, person A could be person B's project, if that makes any sense. And I don't know if I like that. That's just what's coming through. But person B could be seeing person A as their project. Maybe they started a very specific project at work, or maybe a business or something, or a stream of income, something specific to dedicate to person A. But let's move on to the tarot, because I feel like I could just sit in this energy for quite a bit, going on and on about why this connection, well, 1, what's going on in this connection, and 2, why you need to give it another chance, or why we need to focus on nurturing it. We're going to use the, is this a Star Child tarot? Yeah. The top, well, no, I'm not going to do that. We're going to just see what the reality of this connection is and where it can head, what it's going towards. So we have the Ten of Swords. Yeah, I feel like you're both at this point where maybe some words have been said that can't be taken back. Words that not necessarily, maybe they hurt, but, or maybe they're just revelations of some sort that have to be worked through. Oh, okay, we have 2. We have the 8 of Crystals, which is the 8 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Wands. Planning and waiting and working. We have the 6 of Cups, reciprocity here. It could be nostalgia. Something about going back to the beginning of this connection is really a theme here. Either you'll benefit from it, or it'll make you understand why you are choosing to continue in this connection, to be in it, or to give it another chance. And 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Crystals. Anytime 8 and 7 of Crystals show up, I just know there's a lot of work involved. There's a lot of attention to detail. There's a lot of nurturing, something that you want to grow, something that that benefits from having more attention be drawn to it. Back of the deck, Four of Wands, which is a celebration. I'm also seeing this as that vacation. Whatever this vacation is, make sure that you both enjoy it. It doesn't necessarily have to be as quiet as I said, but just make sure you relax and make sure you pay attention to each other. But there is a celebration. It could also be a wedding, because Four of Wands make me think of weddings, not yours, but like maybe a friend's, or if it's overseas, you could benefit from taking a longer extended stay for that wedding. Again, to focus on each other. To clarify the Ten of Swords, we have the Two of Swords. I'm not surprised, because I did think of that when this one came out. Two of Wands and Two of Swords. To clarify the Two of Wands. The Ten of Swords again. To clarify the Eight of Crystals. The Seeker of Cups is going to be the Page. The Page of Cups. No. The Knight of Cups. I'll look it up in a minute. To clarify the Six of Cups, we have the Queen of Cups. Lots of emotions here. And to clarify the Seven of Crystals, Seven of Wands, we have the Seven of Pentacles, we have the Five of Pentacles. Back of the deck energy here. Eight of Pentacles. I feel like both of you just feel like this connection has been a lot of work. And I could definitely see this from person A more than person B. That the work being put into this, the effort being put into keeping this connection the way it's supposed to be, or the way that they want it to be, is very, well, it's work. And I can see why person A might decide to back away for a moment. It's like love and relationship shouldn't be work. And that's a valid point. But person B is more like, well, it makes sense that we think and do a lot about connections. It's one of the things that's going to last us a lifetime, ideally. So those are the two very different perspectives that I'm getting right now when I'm thinking of the Eight of Pentacles, because it came up twice. And like I said, Seven of Pentacles is, to me, an extension of that. But let's begin over here with the Ten of Swords. I feel like whatever was said last time you had a conversation, or when you had the conversation, because I feel like some of you could still be together, but there was a very specific conversation said that really shifted the way you saw this connection and each other. And it could be anything to like a big disagreement. It could have been the decision to separate or to take a break from each other as well. I feel like it hurt both of you, because there's a lot of emotions coming through. I need to look for something here. And I'll keep this there because it's back of the deck energy. One thing you can do in tarot, and this is why I'm doing this, I'm explaining it. If you look for a certain card and you look at the cards that were before and after it, it'll give you an explanation of something. So I'm looking for the Lovers here. And it's weird. I don't typically do that for something that isn't my own. That isn't my own reading, but I'm being called to do that for you. It may take a while, but what am I channeling while I look for this? But yeah, there was something said. And with the Two of Daggers, I feel like there was no conclusion to that specific conversation. Like other than, okay, so the Lovers is reversed. Before that, Seven of Daggers, lies. Somebody was keeping something a secret or just straight up lying about something. And the one in front of it, Two of Cups, love. Okay. And I'm going to keep these out. Okay. But yeah, there was no conclusion to this conversation. I feel like you both agreed to disagree and left it at that. Or you agreed to have a separation, but I don't feel like this is a connection. Well, maybe it is. I'm not sure if this is a connection where you decided, well, we can see other people or we don't have to see other people. But I'm feeling for most of you, it'll be you're not seeing other people. This, again, will depend on how your connection is. If you're already in a polyamorous connection, this is probably nothing new. But for the most of you, there's no cheating involved, is what I'm feeling. However, I am being drawn to the Two of Wands and the Ten of Daggers. Something didn't go according to plan. Whether that was a promise that was made, whether that was something that fell through, either due to this connection or during this connection. I'm not sure if the connection itself had anything to do with how this specific thing fell through. It'll differ for most of you. But For example, maybe something has to be postponed, or something can no longer be on the table. Because that's what I'm getting with 2 of Wands and 10 of Daggers. It's like somebody was planning or betting a lot on something that fell through in this connection. And it's probably something more along the lines of finances, maybe giving birth, or living somewhere, a certain change in lifestyle. It's something along those lines. It's actually not having to do with the person themselves, because with the 8 of Crystals and the Seeker of Cups, there's love here. There really is. But it's a love that is still in the new stages. I feel like the both of you have not really been in a connection like this before, where it's this serious, where it's this close to the type of commitment you've been seeking. It could be marriage, it could be just long-term partnership. But somebody is willing to put in work. But like I said, somebody's putting more work than the other person. Or it feels like you could both be feeling this, where you both feel like you're putting in more work than the other. But the truth is, you're putting in work to different aspects of this connection. One person is putting in more physical work to bring in the money. One person is putting in more emotional work to nurture the feelings in this connection. It could also be maybe somebody's doing more of the housekeeping. It feels a little bit like a connection where one person is parenting the other. But it's not very obvious until you truly see it, because I feel like there's just something about the passion in this connection that has gone away. That's why the 6 of Cups and the Sovereign of Cups is coming through. When you both got together, there was something very beautiful about this. It was very nurturing. I feel like you both met each other feeling like you had met each other before. It felt very faded, very almost like a soulmate connection. But that feeling needs to be revisited, is what I'm being told. With the 7 of Pentacles and the 5 of Pentacles, there's a feeling of lack of effort here from one person or the other. It could be both of you. It could be, again, just how you're seeing this. It's truly the lack of, if it's not the lack of communication, it's just not being able to see eye to eye with each other. You could both have, if I was to put this in astrological terms, maybe you both have like a Mercury square of some kind, where you just do not communicate the same way the other person communicates. And that can be something that can be worked through, though. Understanding how the other person communicates, how they put their effort into this connection. Underneath here, we have the Sun. I do see that if you were to put more effort into this, or, well, not effort, if you were to put more communication into this connection, it can work. But there is something that's coming up here because the Lovers are reversed. This 7 of Daggers, somebody was keeping something a secret and or lying. But I'm seeing more that somebody was keeping something from the other person. So it can feel like a deception. Well, it is a deception if you're keeping secrets, especially very vital, important secrets. And I do feel like this secret has to do with finances, or certain habits that were just not conductive to that person's growth. Or for some people, it could be, I said there was no cheating involved, but it could be emotional, if that makes sense. So an emotional affair is one where somebody goes to a person to give them all their emotional oh, how do I put this? I've seen it. I've even experienced this before, unfortunately. But basically, you go to somebody for the emotional nourishment that a romantic connection should be providing, and this can make the other person feel left out, or like they can't come to them. You know, you should be going to your partner for the emotional side of yourself, but instead they're going to somebody else. And I feel like this could be a person, a platonic friend of either gender. It could even be like a family member, like maybe their mom. Maybe this is somebody who goes to their parents instead of their partner anytime something pops up, rather than their partner, so their partner feels left out. Because here I'm seeing, again, that communication. I feel like somebody thinks that they don't need to be bringing all their emotional baggage to their partner, or they shouldn't have to communicate their emotional needs. When the truth is, somebody is being, somebody's just feeling left out or left in the dark about how somebody is feeling. And the truth is, if this person, whoever it is, came forward and spoke about these things, there wouldn't be a need for a break in this connection, because that's part of the disconnect. For a few, you could also be somebody who has been overindulging, maybe in OnlyFans or any kind of online activity similar to that. I'm not sure what I can and can't say on YouTube, but yeah, that kind of material. But there's something here that needs to be spoken about, or that has been spoken about, and I feel like this created a big rift in this connection. But we do have the Two of Cups going forward, so I feel like the both of you do want to make this work. It's just a matter of communication and a matter of focusing on one, truth and honesty. I feel like, I'm not saying that maybe there were lies involved. I feel for some of you there were straight up lies involved, and then for some of you it's just like small deceptions here and there that accumulate to being a big fat lie. But there needs to be more honesty here, more frankness, more open communication, more of transparency. That's the word I'm looking for. There needs to be a lot more transparency in this connection if it is to survive, because that's what people who want to be in committed relationships do. Again, if this is a polyamorous kind of connection, or one where you're open in an open relationship, I feel like this deception still comes through, because again, part of being polyamorous is that, well, I guess it depends how you see it, but I've always thought there was like one main person and then everybody else was like okay. But again, something about somebody feeling left out, even in polyamorous connections. I'm sure that's a thing. But regardless, let's move on with your closing statements, because I get the feeling that some of the solutions for this connection will be revealed through them. The two signs that were coming up astrologically, I'm not doing too much astrology in this reading overall, but I was getting Taurus, Scorpio, Pisces, and Libra, and a little bit of Capricorn. Let's see. We're using the Illuminator's Amulet, and this is a yes/no deck. So if you have a question that you need very bluntly answered, I would think of that right now, and I'll pick 2 cards for you. Let me give it a real shuffle. Okay, so we have these 2. But before that, I'm going to do the Cupid Says Oracle card. And these are messages from your person. So regardless of who you identified as in this particular reading, this will be messages from their higher self, or messages that they may not yet have, they would like to say to you, Okay. Why would you say that? So I'm not sure what was said, but I feel like somebody said something that they regret. Something that they felt in the moment, but probably isn't too true. Be patient. A lot of patience is coming through. A lot of patience is needed in this connection. And that's the one. Yeah, your person thinks you're the one, for sure, pile A. Or pile 1, person A. Pile 1. I'm hearing 2 more. Maybe we should stop here. This is that break in this connection that is going on right now. And what you decide to do after this is up to you. I'm not necessarily saying that you should stay, but what I am saying is that there is very much a capacity for love in this connection. It's all a matter of whether you can move forward knowing what you know now. And take a moment to breathe. Yeah, that relaxation, that vacation, that moment, something is needed to really ground and center yourself, pile 1. And this could be for your person too. Back of the deck, I know it's love, but ... Yeah, you both are aware that there's love here, but that's a big but, you know. And then from the amulet, realign and call it in. Yeah, that goes with take a moment to breathe, and definitely not. So I'm not sure what the definitely not was for. It's something that was needed to be compromised in this connection is what I'm hearing. And whatever that is for you, pile one, it's a no. So whatever that is, I leave it up to you. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile one. Thank you so much for letting me read you and your person's energy. I really hope this gains some insight into your connection or situation. And if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile two. If you chose this teal, greenish, I want to say teal candle, then we have your reading here for you about you and your person and your perspectives on this connection. So we're going to start with some connecting cards, and then we're going to do this person A and B style. I am intending person A to be you, pile two, but if you resonate more with person B, you can go with that as well. The last reading, I felt it could be either or, so it'll all depend on what you resonate with. But we're going to light your candle first and foremost, and I will link my rechargeable lighter in the description. That song, it's been overplayed a little bit, but I don't know if it's stuck in my head, but it did come through in this reading. It's Mitski, My Love Is Mine. But I'm also noting how your flame is very timid. It's very small, which is interesting because the other candle was not like that. But I am getting a sense of timidity within this connection. I'm not sure if it's just you, pile two. But let's look at your cards. We have intimacy. Allow yourself to become spiritually, emotionally, and physically intimate with one another. Real sensuality and sexuality aren't based on physical looks only. Your energy is what makes you attractive and sexy. This is interesting. Let's look at the other connecting cards before I start channeling. We have focus. We also have positive affirmations. I love myself, brave, beautiful, worthy, and grateful. So something about self-love is coming through in this connection, because I'm not getting a clear picture of who this person is that you're interested in them intimately, and not necessarily just on the lustful level. It's kind of like it began there, but it's getting deeper than that, and I think you both seem to understand it. And I think that's where the timidity comes from. Like, maybe you're both used to the physical aspects of a relationship, or you're used to being in a connection that's not anywhere near as deep as this is. But let me get the cards for you. Person A, we have Thanos. All that I seek is in my grasp. We have happiness, and we have Squirrel Spirit. Believe in yourself. And then for person B, we have She-Hulk, do the right thing even if no one is watching. Frustration. And Whale Spirit, trust the great mystery. Wow, lots of this. I can't tell whether you're in a connection with this person or not, because I see more than anything that this is something very spiritual. You're both on a 5D level already together. On a 5D level, I feel like you already know each other. This is very much a very soul-matey type of connection, very spiritual. It's very, it's one of those when you met each other, you kind of just knew something was going to go on between you and this person. And it's, like I said, it's very deep. Deeper than either of you are used to. More so the person you're thinking of than you, pile two, because if you're already at a tarot reading, you're not afraid of the spiritual, but it's your person who is terrified of the spiritual. I do get the feeling that they have never really done anything akin to like meditation or looking at themselves more deeper than their physical body. Whoever your person is, they might work out a lot for this very reason. I feel like if they think that if they focus on their physical body, they don't have to think about the emotional, spiritual, or anything internal. And you're stirring up something in them that is making them, okay, I'm not sure. I can't tell who you are. So just in this instance, you can choose whomever. But let's start with the Thanos character over here. And I say strong because, I mean, Thanos and She-Hulk are both very physically built characters. But all that I seek is in my grasp, and happiness, and believe in yourself. So person A is somebody who's very optimistic, very, they can be powerful, or they have the capacity to be powerful. I feel like this is somebody who's very happy-go-lucky. I'm getting like very strong Jupiter vibes, also Sagittarius, but mostly somebody who is capable of doing whatever they want, whatever they set their mind to. I am getting masculine energy from this, and not just because it's Thanos, but more because there's something about being very in their assertive energy and very much feeling they can go out and conquer the world. I mean, literally, we have Thanos. But with Squirrel Spirit, there's somebody who's also not afraid of the small details and the small task. I feel like they're not afraid of hard work. They definitely believe in themselves, which is funny when you look at a squirrel. I live around a lot of squirrels, and I actually just watch them sometimes for fun. And things I've seen squirrels do are kind of ridiculous. Like, they're mind-blowing. I've seen one like walk across a power line, Mission Impossible style, like they're on a mission to do the craziest things, when you know all they're doing is looking for nuts to store for the winter. I've seen one fly. It wasn't even a flying squirrel, but it was like gliding from branch to branch. It's whoever person A is, they're very agile, they're very physical. They don't believe they're incapable of doing anything. To them, the world is their oyster, and you know, it's a very high vibrational energy that I'm getting from person A. They're definitely a happy person, but I also feel like they bring a lot of joy to other people as well. Like, it's not just for them. There's somebody who does not like to see somebody upset, or who doesn't like to see somebody think lowly of themselves. I really feel like they are people's cheerleaders. Oddly enough, I feel like they themselves can be a bit polarizing. I am getting a bit of Scorpio from them, because when you think of, or at least when I think of Thanos, I can see the perspective of why people don't think he's a villain, but my favorite part was how he treated Gamora the whole time. Just thought that she was this precious little thing, treated her like a princess, a goddess, and she just of course she didn't see that, but there was definitely some capacity for him to love, and that's a whole thing of the whole story, is that he needed somebody that Gamora assumed that there was nobody that this person loved, and truly he did, which is why he had to sacrifice her. And I'm not gonna apologize for that spoiler. I feel like everybody has seen that movie, and if you haven't, well, it's been out for a while. But regardless, I do feel like this could be somebody who doesn't really show their loving, romantic nature to everybody, so people are kind of surprised when this person does have that. Or at the very least, if they do have a romantic connection, people think it doesn't go like beyond the physical or beyond the surface level. This could be somebody who's got a bit of player energy. This won't resonate with everybody, but even if they don't, I feel like, again, people assume that this person only gets with somebody because they're, you know, good looking, and not because there's actually more to them than that. Or a different way to see this, maybe they're not used to being with somebody beyond the physical level, or maybe their only prerequisite to being with somebody is being attracted to them. And sure, it can be a little shallow, but it's very honest on person A's part. Like, maybe that's all they need. They don't really need somebody to do anything for them, because they can do anything for themselves. So all they ask for is like arm candy or something. But then they meet person B. And person B, I feel like person B is very much an empath, and specifically one of those empaths that takes on so much energy and emotions from everybody else that they can get in a state of frustration or even anger. It's kind of like, I'm seeing a teapot or a tea kettle, and how it like blows whenever it's, you know, it's handled too much hot water. I'm getting that from person B, but regardless, they're still a very lovely person with whale spirit. Trust the great mystery. They're somebody who's very spiritual. They're not afraid to dive deeply into anything, whether that's the subconscious, whether that's a very specific dilemma, whether that's a problem. They're a problem solver. I'm getting I'm getting several things, but INTJ is coming through, and I'm not usually big on the Myers-Briggs types. Like, I go back and forth on those. I myself am an INTJ. I guess that's why it's coming forward, because it's that kind of mentality where, yes, they're very intuitive. Yes, they're very capable of doing anything. And they actually have very high morals with do the right thing, even if no one is watching. But there is something about this connection that frustrates the person B, even though they're a very lovely and beautiful person. I mean, there's something unconventional about the beauty in person B for sure, because She-Hulk is beautiful, but I mean, she's also green, which is not something that's very common. And I have not seen the series, so I'm not familiar with any of that. But if some of you have, I really do feel like person B is very much like that character. Very accomplished, very intelligent, very smart. Always does the right thing because that's just how they were wired. They were wired to care about bringing justice to the world, doing good, being a light. They could be a light worker as well, definitely very spiritual. But there's something about their own personal morals that is frustrating them when it comes to person A. Gosh, why is that? I'll look in the tarot to see why that is. But it could be, I feel like person B also has a very strong sense of self-respect. They both do, honestly. But I feel because they see the kind of person that person A is, that they're somehow compromising a part of themselves. Maybe it's if person A does have like a player attitude, maybe person B is like, I will never get with somebody like that. But there's a conflict here because the attraction, it's not just physical, even though it began that way. They're realizing that the attraction is way deeper. If this is a connection where they've had enough time to really speak to each other, to share their backgrounds and emotions, I feel like they understand that they just like each other in general. I feel like they like each other's souls. They understand why the other person is the way they are. They like each other's guts. I'm hearing guts and grit. Like there's a huge amount of respect here for what the other does and how they go about doing it. They're aware that they're very similar because think about it. Both of these are alien-like characters with like different skin colors, but they're also both very powerful. They're aware that they're each other's match. And I feel like person B didn't want to be attracted to somebody like person A. But then we have these cards in the middle. We have focus. So with focus, I'm getting several things. One, they're both good at focusing on the job at hand. They're both good at focusing on the things that they need to focus on, whether that's their career, their job, the situation at hand is what I keep hearing, whatever that may be for the both of them. They could work together. So I feel like they're usually teamed up quite often because people are aware that they are kind of a dream team, that they work very well. And then when they're both together, things get done. And that actually allowed them both to see the chemistry between them, because when there's chemistry, especially if it's a physical job where they have to do things, with their hands, with their body. Oh, it's veering into 18 plus right now, and they're very aware of each other's bodies and the way they move and the way they work together. They're very aware. If they've ever had to like do something where they actually had contact with each other, like maybe a hug or something where somebody had to carry somebody else, they were very aware of how well it fitted. How easily their bodies melded into each other. So they're aware of the chemistry. The focus, though, I feel like they're both very focused on each other, especially when the other is in the room, and they kind of they fight it. They fight it so much. I don't know if either person. I really feel like they're not together. I really feel whoever these two people are, either they're at the very beginning of this connection, they're in the flirting or dating stage, but this is not. And there's some resistance here. They are not currently together. But man, it would be something if they were, is what I'm hearing. And I feel like the frustration comes more from person B. Person A could be in a connection. They could be in several dating. They might have a roster. I am getting some player, and not for everybody. I'm hearing I'm just a squirrel looking for a nut. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but that came through. Oh God. Okay, so if this connection, if you already have been physical and intimate together, there was something within that moment, within that occurrence, that made you realize that it wasn't just physical. It's like you're your spirits met each other and your souls intertwined. And like I said, I feel like one of you is a lot less inclined to be spiritual than the other person, but it awakens something in them. And now this person, probably, it's more likely person A. Person A can't imagine having to do anything less than what they did with person B. Like they have a new standard now, and it's whatever person B gave them. It's whatever person B brought out in them. Because I think they both thought this would be, at the very least, something flirtatious, something fun. Like, I feel like they both thought it would be like a one-night stand or a friends with benefits situation, and it can't be. And I think that's another reason this frustration is coming out, mostly from person B. I feel like person B is more invested in the deeper side of this connection because they can't help but be a deep person. I'm getting strong Scorpio, I'm getting Pisces, all of the water signs, but also Earth, a combination of both of those, and a little bit of fire, so Leo and Aries and Sagittarius. And it's frustrating person B. It's like, yeah, we can't just be something casual because it's not. I feel like the compatibility here is so high. And yet the circumstances of the 3D are so frustrating, regardless of what those circumstances are. With positive affirmations, I feel like they would both benefit from affirmations in general. I feel like person B does them already, and person A, if they do, it's probably on a very surface level. But the positive affirmations, I'm also hearing this connection is very blessed, regardless of what goes on, regardless of what turn it takes. They're both going to choose love in the end, is what I'm hearing, because they both already have a lot of self-respect for each other. For themselves, not each other. Well, each other and themselves. They both already have a lot of self-respect for themselves. And in the end, they're just going to choose whatever makes them happy. I feel like this connection, if it was something where they were together, would make one person more happy than the other. And why that is, we'll look into the tarot. But yeah, let's move on to the tarot. Because, yeah, my heart goes out for both of you. I feel like you could be very happy, and yet there's some obstacle in the way. Let's see what that is. Do the right thing, even if no one is watching. And what that right thing is could vary for everybody, but we're going to be using the Star Chatter Tarot. So, pile 2 and their person. What is going on with this very emotional, deep, spiritual connection? It's very all-encompassing, which can feel like a lot sometimes. We have the Page of Wands. We have the 3 of Wands. The 8 of Swords. Somebody feels trapped. The 5 of Wands. And somebody feels a lack. No, not the 5 of Wands. I was thinking the 5 of Pentacles. But somebody feels like they're wondering whether this is worth it or not. Ten of Crystals. You complete each other. At the very least, physically, spiritually. Back of the deck energy. 6 of Crystals. There's reciprocity. Well, there's a good balance here as well, oddly enough. A balance that you're both able to work with. And then to clarify these, I have the Empyrean Mini Tarot. To clarify the Page of Wands. 2 of Wands. To clarify the 3 of Wands. Queen of Wands. To clarify the 8 of Swords. Queen of Swords. To clarify the 5 of Wands. The Sun. And to clarify the 10 of Crystals, we have the 2 of Daggers. It's a stalemate. You guys don't know what to do with each other. You just know that you like each other. Back of the deck, 10 of Daggers. What's underneath that? 7 of Pentacles. Okay. You both... Here's the thing about compatibility. You can be made for each other. You can be perfect together. You can be everything the other person wanted. But if you're at different stages in life, which I feel that you are, and I'll explain why in a minute, there's a chance that I think you're both aware that it's not practical to be together, despite the fact that this is something else. This connection is truly something else. I'm hearing a little bit of star-crossed lovers. And yeah, someone's heartbroken here because of the situation. Probably person B, because I feel like person B is very self-aware of what's going on. Person A is having fun with it, and person A just loves person B. Loves everything that person B brings to them, loves everything that they're experiencing. And person B does too as well. But person B is very grounded. There is a chance, and I'm not saying I condone this or that I agree with this, but there is a chance that this is a third-party situation. Somebody could be in a connection that they refuse to get out of or can't get out of. But the love is there, and maybe this was supposed to be, again, a one-time thing. If it was something like maybe there was a break in a connection and they were like, sure, why not? I'm allowed to do this. And then they did and realized, oh, okay, this is crazy. But I'm very much into this person. It could also be a work situation where like you're not supposed to be dating each other, but because I don't know, they said it would be a one-time thing. I feel like this was meant to be a casual one-time thing, and it couldn't be. I really feel like it can't be. But let's start with the Page of Wands and the Two of Wands. There was a lot of thought put into this, a lot, because I feel like they're both individuals are people of action here. When they want something, they go after it. When they're interested in something, they go after it. They go about it differently, but they definitely go after it. And that, again, that's something that they both respect within each other, because there's a lot of respect for each other here. Page of Wands, somebody who starts something, somebody who proposes an idea, and is very creative. The Two of Wands, planning. With the Three of Wands and the Sovereign of Wands, so somebody is more, I'm trying to find the words for this. I feel like there could be an age gap here, or there's a difference in the types of connections they're both comfortable in. There's just a gap in maturity. And again, it could have to do with your age. It could also have to do with the fact that they both want different things out of love relationships. Somebody just wants casual connection. Somebody just wants to, date around and not really commit, and somebody wants commitment. I'm getting that because there's a Queen of Wands and a Page of Wands. So somebody's Page of Wands, somebody is Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands demands adoration, affection, and commitment. The Page of Wands, like I said, just wants to date around, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course. But again, there's a disagreement of how love connection should be. And because it was meant to be casual or something not as deep, I feel like one person can't demand more of the other as much as they would like to. It'd be like, for example, if it was person A who already has a roster or has a person or whatever, they would want to ask person B to be exclusive with them, but they can't do that because they refuse to be exclusive with person A. Or sorry, person B, and if it was person B who was asking person A to commit, it's like, well, I'm aware that person A just doesn't do that, and that they're at a different stage in life where they don't want that, and I'm going to respect what they want, so I'm not going to ask that. It's like you would both love to commit to each other, and this is what the Eight of Swords is. You would both love to commit to each other, but you're very aware of the logic behind this. You're both very aware that you're different people, that you seek different things. And if it is an age difference, somebody could be younger and still wants to date around, and somebody could be older and wants to settle down. I think like that makes more sense. Take that if it resonates, of course. It doesn't have to be the case. But I really feel like they both want different things. With the Five of Wands and the Sun, there's just so much. It's weird that a connection that can make them so fulfilled and happy is also something that is bringing so much turmoil to them. if that makes sense. Five of Wands it's a challenge, but I feel like they enjoy this challenge because, and if they're both problem solvers, which I really do feel they are, that would make sense. It's like they both love a challenge, and the fact that this connection itself is a challenge, they're both up for it. So it's hard to quit this connection, even if they know it's not going to work out in the long run, or if they can't see beyond a certain point, or if one person, like I said, refuses to get out of another connection for whatever reason. They still love this, and I hate saying this because I don't agree with it, but this could be one of those connections where it's like a side piece that you don't want to give up. Like both of them don't want to give each other up. I really hate that. If it's not the case, good. Only take that if it resonates. I'm not here to judge, and I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life. But even if that wasn't the case, that's what this feels like. Even if you were both single, like I said, you want different things, but you also want to hold on to each other, but you want different things. And I feel like one person is kind of waiting for the other one to come around and commit. And if that's the case, it'll be such a long time, because that's what I'm getting from 10 of Crystals is commitment. But the 2 of Daggers here, you don't know when that will be, and they don't know either. Somebody doesn't know when they'll want to settle down, because they might still be young, or at the very least young, you know, they may just have started their career. They might have just, in some cases, you know, in some cases, they may have just become an adult. Maybe they're in like 18, 19, and definitely know they're not ready to settle down at that age. And the other person, especially depending on how big that gap is, I see up to 28, maybe older, they're ready to settle down. Because back of the deck energy, you're compatible. You're compatible as heck with 6 of Crystals here, 6 of Pentacles. This is a give and take, but an equal give and take. You both give each other as much as you take from each other. This is reciprocity. On a very basic level too. I feel like if you were to live together, it would be great. But the 10 of Daggers here, it's not heartbreak, but it's the feeling of being stifled. Underneath that, we have the Seeker of Cups. There's so much love here. And I love that hasn't even been expressed. It's one of those connections where you definitely haven't told each other, I love you, but you can feel it, you can hear it, you just know it's there. You would never have to tell each other that, and you would still know that you love each other. It's kind of crazy. I feel like one person is less willing to admit it, for sure, due to practical reasons and whatever's going on. But it's this close. If for one of you, it's this close as you've come to love in a connection. Probably whoever's younger, or less experienced, or whoever is less willing to commit. This is the closest thing they've got to love. But I can see the frustration. It's more from whoever wants the commitment, for sure. But and whoever doesn't want the commitment, they don't want to hurt you. Whoever's the person who doesn't want the commitment, they don't want to hurt the other person. Again, because there's so much love here, there's so much respect. But they're not going to pretend that there's something they're not right now. They're not going to pretend that they want commitment right now when they know they don't. Because I feel like whoever is the one who likes to sleep around, they're very self-aware. Or at the very least self-aware enough right now to understand that. This is truly heartbreaking. Because I really feel like it's like when somebody meets their match, and I feel like even their friends and family, people around them are aware of how good they are together. Oh, my pile 2. My heart goes out to you. It's like when you're watching a movie or a show and your favorite couple finally gets together or does something they're supposed to, but they can't be together for whatever reason. It's that kind of energy. But let's look at messages from your person, as well as where this could head, because I really feel it's very up in the air. I don't see a conclusion here yet. All I see is what the other person wants, or what each person wants, and they both want things that are very different, despite the fact that it feels like this connection is very very spiritually. You were meant to meet each other, for sure. But I feel like one of you is asking, well, why? If it can't work out, why did I meet this person? And I understand. It's very... My poor heart. My heart goes out to you, pile 2. But we have messages from your person, from their higher self. This is Cupid says. And I feel like these will come in handy because your person is not somebody who really communicates a lot of what they're feeling, even though they're very capable of feeling deeply. I feel like they don't show you too much of it or enough of it. So, oh, but before I do that, I'm using the Illuminator's Amulet. This is a yes or no deck, mostly. And I'm going to go ahead and ask you to ask a question that can be answered by these. I'm going to pull 2 cards for you. Let me shuffle them. Okay. So let's look at messages from your person's higher self. Yeah, it's weird. There's a lot of timidity here and a lot of nervousness. I wonder if the both of you make each other nervous, even after however long you've known each other, even after doing the deed and seeing each other's souls. I feel like you still make each other nervous. From your person's higher self, how could you be so attractive? They find you so attractive, pile 2. A little bit out of their league, actually. But it's funny because I feel like you find them stupidly attractive as well. Like, I feel like you're both very attracted to each other. And that's just part of the chemistry. I honestly feel like you physically, you were made for, you were exactly what the other ordered. Let's make magic happen. Yeah, there's a possibility that if you were to be a couple, you would be an it couple. Very spiritual, very, you both work with manifestations. Once you bring your person up to your spiritual level, which I really feel like you could do because they'd be very willing to do that, you could make anything happen. Maybe we should stop here. Yeah, I feel like some of you are considering whether you should continue with this connection or not. Cuddles, please. You love to be physically intimate with each other. Even if it's just hugs, even if it's just snuggling, it's not even necessarily doing the dirty. This is also like you just love each other's bodies. I feel the same. If whoever is refusing to commit could commit right now, they would. You are incredible. Do you know that? Yeah, your person thinks you're incredible. They feel the same. They love your body, but they're kind of not ready for such a commitment right now, for whatever reason. I'm gonna get one more for you because pile 2, you make me cry. Darling, this feels so right. Yeah, you feel right to each other. It's back of the deck energy. Once bitten, twice shy. I don't know what this means. Once bitten, twice shy. So if you know, or if you can like Google that and put it in the comments, I would be very grateful for you, pile 2. But once bitten, twice shy. That would explain the shyness. Okay, so I don't know if this is what it actually means, but this is what Spirit is giving me. It's kind of like I said, this could have started off as a very casual thing and you thought it would just be casual or a one-time thing. But now that they've had it that one time or that you've had it this one time, that's not enough. And now it's like, wow. So the pressure is on even more so next time they see you. Does that make sense? It's like, I thought I would get over you after just doing it this once. And maybe that's part of the reason you guys got together. But now that you've had it, it's like, wow, no, this actually makes it even worse. Because now I know what it's like. There's somebody's going to blush a lot. Somebody's going to be very, not uncomfortable, but they're going to be very timid around you. Pile 2. Okay, the Illuminator's Tarot. The opportunity is approaching. And trust you already know what's going to happen in this connection and where it's headed. And that will depend on who you are. Unfortunately, I can't say what that is, but that trust you already know. But with the opportunities approaching, there's going to be an opportunity for you to, I'm hearing communicate your feelings or communicate your expectations or to at the very least clear the air of what is going on. Maybe somebody will ask, oh, why are you acting this way? Or something will be brought to the light and it will be very, it's not going to be a big deal. I feel like when you two communicate, once you get past that initial energy of nervousness around each other, you communicate very well. It's almost like you read each other's thoughts. I feel like both of you know what's going on here and where this is headed. For some of you, it's going to be a matter of patience, and for others, it's going to be a matter of just letting go and knowing that if it's meant for you, it'll come back. And for some of you, you'll just move on because you understand that, you know, loving somebody means knowing when to let go and letting them live their life. And that is making me That's making me tear up, pile 2. That's how you know you feel something for somebody. I'm going to leave it here. Wow. But thank you so much for letting me read you and your person's energy, pile 2. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. I'm sending you and your person so much love. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose the purple tea light candle, then we have a reading here for you today about you and your person and how you're both seeing this connection, as well as connecting energies and what the situation of this is. But we're going to start by, well, one, lighting your candle with my rechargeable lighter. And let's see, what did you get? We have flexible. You may have someone in mind, but your spirit guides want you to know that there are better options for you. This card also pertains to release any unrealistic expectations on a relationship or a person. We are going to do this person A and B style. I am intending for you to be person A, but if person B resonates more, you can take that as well. The past 2 piles, it was kind of either or, but yeah, let's just see what the cards say. For your connecting energies, you have 2 of the self-love. We have connect with your womb and massage. This is interesting. With flexible, I'm also getting yoga. So I'm not sure if you and your person do any kind of activity where you are become more flexible, like yoga. You could both get couples massage. You could be trying to conceive with connect with your womb. And then adventures. Quite interesting. A very physical couple for sure. If you are a couple, I'm not sure yet. But with person A, we have Jubilee. Be bright, be fearless, even in the dark. We have passion. We have starfish spirit, open to infinite possibility. And stag spirit, take the lead. A lot of fire energy from person A. Person B, we have Aunt May. Home is never too far away. We have protection. We also have electric eel spirit, bring your ideas to life. I wish Aunt May wasn't here because, okay, this is a very physical connection, or at the very least, your physical intimacy is something that is at the forefront of this connection. But it's with a purpose, and that's the weird part. I'm not sure if this couple is together or not, but for sure they are trying to procreate. What if that could literally be a child, but it could also be some sort of project or some sort of life. You're both trying to bring something to fruition. You want to create something physical, something that is very solid, that will be something that connects the both of you for several years going forward. If this is a child, it could be the next 18 plus years. And if it's like an actual project, you want to build like some sort of business or community or something that will last a lifetime. I feel like it can be either connection at this point, because yes, a lot of you can be married. I definitely do see the commitment here, but some of you could also just be in a commitment, a long-term commitment, or even you may have come together to, this is not going to be for everybody, but it's so weird. I feel like you both agreed to have children together, even if your relationship is not something that is at the forefront of this connection. It's very odd. It's very physical. And I'm not sure if that's something people are doing now. I know like a lot of famous and wealthy men are doing that, where they're like, I'm thinking of Nick Cannon, who's agreeing to have all these baby mamas, even though he doesn't really want a connection with any or all of them. But there's something here about the greater good. Let's start with person A. Person A, there's a youthfulness, there's a fearlessness, there's something very happy-go-lucky here about person A. With passion, I do feel like they're very creative, very passionate, of course. I feel like they initiate everything, they take the lead and open to infinite possibility. They could have been the one who agreed to this connection, or who even proposed the idea of this connection. It's very interesting. Because I'm getting somebody I'm getting like Aries, but also Aquarius, because it's rather unconventional how this connection is established. This could be the reason why you're here, pile 3. I feel like even you understand that this connection is kind of weird and out there, and you're wondering whether it could go any further than what the cause of this what the purpose of this connection is. It could be the cause for some of you. Maybe for some of you, you were in a casual connection or a casual fling, a one-night stand, but then you realize that one of you, I'm getting a lot of fertility stuff. So if the fertility stuff isn't resonating, just ignore it. And maybe just be entertained by what I'm about to present. I feel like this is one of those one-night stands where somebody got pregnant and it's like, you know what? I kind of want to keep this, if that's okay with you. Would you be okay to that? And the other person's like, yeah, sure. We're already, friends or whatever. I feel like this would be a very mature thinking connection for sure. With person B, so Aunt May makes me think of somebody who's very responsible, somebody who's very nurturing. I'm actually getting Queen of Cups energy here with her. Somebody who's very, they could be older, but I'm also feeling like this could be somebody who's been waiting for this for a while. So, for example, this could be maybe, I could see a woman like later in life when she knows she's about near the time when she's about to become infertile, deciding, you know what, I want to keep this baby with whomever she just happens to find somebody to have a baby with. It's that kind of energy. And I'm not here to judge it. I'm not even saying this is the case for everybody, but this is the biggest story coming through here. And I really wish it wasn't so in my face right now. But for some people, it could also be somebody who's been waiting a long time for somebody who they could do some sort of creation with, whether that was, for example, this could be somebody who waited later in life to get married, or somebody who waited later in life to truly settle down, or somebody to start a business with, some kind of creative endeavor. It could also be somebody that bloomed very late in life as well. Somebody who maybe had a second chance at life is what I'm hearing, because Aunt May did lose her husband, and of course the second part of her life is taking care of her nephew who, or at least being emotionally supportive to her nephew who does a lot of great things for the world. It's that kind of feeling. With protection and electric eel spirit, bring your ideas to life. Yeah, they've been waiting for quite a while to bring this idea to fruition, whatever that idea may be. I'm sorry if the baby thing, it's not resonating with you. Unfortunately, I am going to talk a lot about it, so you can stay and just kind of sift through that, or I'm getting something with protection here. They were waiting for the right person. Person B was waiting for the right person. I feel like they've been given many an opportunity and it just never felt right. And it never felt like that's what it was meant to be. Because person B is somebody who is very deep. They're very spiritual. They're both very spiritual here. But person B has kind of been very patient. With home is never too far away, I feel like they never were truly able to find a sense of comfort in anybody. Maybe they've had to heal from past traumas and it took them quite a while to get over it. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course. Everybody heals in their own time. But they were kind of surprised by what the world had to offer them once it came to them. Because I feel like person B is very accepting of a lot of things. Again, I'm getting Aquarius vibes here. But they're finally seeing their ideas come to life, and they're finally seeing exactly why they've been rejected in the past, because rejection is divine protection. That's what I'm getting with this card. But also I'm getting a sense that they're still very protected, even in this endeavor that is going on, as odd as it feels and as weird as it seems. I feel like they know they're going to be okay, even if this does seem out of the norm, or if this does seem like a risk for a lot of people, whatever this creative endeavor may be, whatever this that they're taking on with this person. Again, I just don't know if these two people are together in a connection or not, because what matters most to them is what they are doing right now. It could be an organization, it could be founding something, starting a foundation, it could be a business, but it's definitely very adventurous. That's why this card is coming through. It's something that's kind of not done by everybody, very unconventional, a little bit out there, but very sacred. With the womb coming through here, connect with the womb and massage. There's something very sensual about this, something very sacred. about what is happening here. That's why it's very divinely protected, and that's why there's a lot of passion being involved here. I feel like they're going to get a lot of supporters from this, oddly enough, specifically from those closest to them and those who understand them the most. But with the flexibility here, release any unrealistic expectations on a relationship or person. I feel like the relationship may suffer a little bit due to the fact that they're trying to bring something here together. There's definitely respect for each other. There's definitely passion for each other's vision. And they know that through each other, they can create a lot of great things. This is very interesting. Person B is more grounded than person A for sure, but I feel it's that groundedness that person A was attracted to in person B, because they saw somebody who had their life together, somebody that they could rely on, somebody that they could definitely create everything that they wanted without being judged, because there's something about person B that just does not judge at all. So I feel like person B has experienced a lot, regardless of how old they are. I'm not trying to say person B is like ancient. They're not the case at all. But there's definitely a bit of an age gap here, or at the very least an experience gap, for sure. And it's quite interesting. Again, there's a lot of focus on the physical aspect of this, but the spiritual is very much there too. It's just not given as much attention. I'm going to move on to the tarot. I'm being called to move on to the tarot just because there's almost like one or the other, or maybe both, are ashamed of what they're afraid of, the backlash. There's a little bit of hesitation. There's a little bit of I don't want to say embarrassment, because I feel like they would eventually just come out and be like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. But there is a little bit of the self-awareness can feel a little bit like shame sometimes. It's like, I know what people are going to say, XYZ. But they kind of don't care, if that makes sense. What they do care about is the big commotion that people are going to make, but they just don't care about what people would think of their creative endeavors, especially when we have two people who are so different that you would not think would come together for this, and yet they do. But let's get some tarot cards to see where this connection is headed, because I really feel like they are both on the same wavelength. That's one thing I didn't say in the oracles. They both want the same thing. They both understand that they are the perfect person to carry out this thing with. And if it is a physical connection, they're aware that people will say all kinds of things about them because they're just so different, but they kind of don't care because they're happy and because they found their person. But let's go on with the tarot. We have strength. Yeah, this is Leo energy. This is I don't care energy. What else is going on here? We have the Ten of Cups, emotional fulfillment. Yeah, you both make each other happy. There's emotional fulfillment here. This is literally somebody you can carry out a lot of what you want with, even if it doesn't seem that way to everybody else. It's like, who cares what they think? They don't see what we have. We also have the Star with hope. I feel like you give some people hope, actually, especially people in situations similar to yours, pile 3. Regardless of who you identified as, you and your person give each other hope, as well as the world. We also have the Queen of Wands. Whoever the feminine in this connection is, they have a lot of charisma. They're quite a driving force. If this is a situation where there's fertility involved, whoever's carrying this baby, you're the one who's... this is going to sound weird. I heard you're a great vessel, and not because women's bodies are just meant for making babies, but because whoever's carrying this child is very spiritual and very self-aware and very loving. So it's like... And it's another weird thing that's coming through. If you've tried to conceive before and those babies haven't been working, I hate saying babies like that. And if those pregnancies have not been working out, it's because you weren't with the right people or you were not in the right situation. And now is the time when you should be having when you should be trying to conceive. And this is why it's working out. Despite the fact that you're, especially if it's somebody who's older, despite the fact that you're older, you're actually in a better place now, both physically, mentally, and even financially, than you were back when you were more, quote, quote, fertile. Your fertility came on a little bit late. That's part of the late bloomer energy. Again, I'm sorry if this isn't resonating with everybody. I've never had a reading like this. This is kind of weird. Okay, one more card. We have the Eight of Swords, is not knowing what to do. In the back of the deck energy, we have Five of Wands with a lot to do. What's underneath that? Six of Crystals, reciprocity. Everything will go fine, regardless of what people are trying to tell you. Yeah, this is an unconventional reading. If this isn't a pregnancy, this could also be, again, your project. The reasons it didn't work out back when you were younger or back when you really needed this project to work out was because you were not in the right place. This is very much one of those law of attraction kind of things where you have to have that you have to be ready energetically for the things that you want to come to fruition. In some cases, this could also be the connection. If you thought why you couldn't find the proper person back then, it could be because this person was not available. They were not in your vicinity. They were just not there. And in some cases, especially if that age gap is kind of a thing, they may not have been born. I'm not saying there's a huge age gap, or they may not have been of, you know, this is the weirdest reading. I'm so sorry. I can tell people are going to click off in this reading right away, but there's a sense that this person was not ready to be in a connection, or they were not of legal age. Man, Spirit, why do you do this? Okay, so to clarify strength, we have the Ten of Wands. To clarify the Ten of Cups, we have the Seven of Daggers. To clarify the Star, we have Justice. To clarify the Queen of Wands, we have the Nine of Wands. And to clarify the Eight of Swords, we have the World. Back of the deck energy, death, a rebirth. Some of you feel like new people through this connection. But let's start with strength in the Ten of Wands. I really feel like you have both struggled quite a bit to get where you are. More so you, Pile 3, than your person. I really feel like this is something you've been trying to manifest for a long time. And regardless of what it is that you are trying to manifest, that you're trying to bring into the world, this is very much a connection where you didn't realize that you had a missing ingredient or a missing puzzle piece until this person came along. It's very odd. I feel like you were looking in the wrong places for this person. You could have, whoever this person is, they're not your type. And I feel like that's part of what's blocking this connection. Like you would have never considered somebody like this. But at the very least, you're considering them to go on with the project that you are doing, with this creation that you have in mind. And I feel like it's very much one of those things where you're going to fall in love with this person through the things you do and through the time you spend cultivating this creation or trying to nurture this creation. It's very much one of those, you didn't realize who they were until they were there. And until you saw just how well you got along. With the Ten of Cups, Seven of Daggers, I feel like for some of you, you felt happiness was unattainable somehow, or that there was like a what's the word, caveat to happiness. But yet it's there. It's also keeping happiness a secret somehow. I feel like you both feel that you have to keep this connection secret or hidden, again, because you just do not want the backlash. You don't want the turmoil. You don't want to hear what people have to say because you know it's unconventional. You know it's just something that doesn't happen all the time. But you agree to it because it makes you happy. With the Star and Justice, you're very divinely protected. I don't even know how to say that enough. It's very much a test of how much you can accept what the world has to offer you. It's like, you know, your spirit guides come through and it's like, hey, this is going to sound crazy, but this is what's going to happen. And regardless of that, it's going to make you so happy and it's going to be exactly what you wanted and needed, both of you. Are you okay with that? And some of you are going to be like, it's just going to feel like a fan fiction or like one of those crazy stories out there that you don't hear very often. But it's somehow going to work because person A has so much to offer person B. They just want to give them everything. They want to make them happy. They see everything that they have to offer. And person B has been waiting their whole life for somebody like this. And it's all a matter of accepting it, even as weird as it is. So with justice, I do see the odds being ever in your favor. Just by laws of the universe, not actual laws. If there's any kind of court or anything going on, unfortunately, I can't provide any kind of advice on that because that's not my forte. But I do feel like you'll both be very lucky. I do consider justice, especially with paired with the star, to be luck. With the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Wands, whoever the Queen of Wands person is, I really feel it's you, pile 3. This is a connection that is very much I'm hearing you're the whole package. Your person thinks that you're just amazing. You're intelligent. You're willing to fight for what is right. You're willing to fight for your vision. You're not afraid to back down, and you're not afraid to back away. They see something in you that really makes them feel that they've chosen the right person to do this with. And not only that, but there's something about inspiration here. You inspire them to be a better person, to fight through a lot of the karmic, because I do feel like person A has some karma coming to or through them. Person B is there to help them, or at the very least show them that that's not how this is supposed to be. Like, you're not supposed to live in this energy of, struggle and disliking your situation. They show them that this life and this love even is worth fighting for. With the 8 of Swords in the World, again, there's a fear of backlash here. I really do feel this is however unconventional this connection is, I do feel it depends. For some of you, it might be an LGBTQ connection. That was the strongest one coming through. For some of you, it could just be an age gap. That's another common one that is coming through. And for some of you, it could be cultural differences. Like very strong cultural differences. You may come from cultures that even dislike each other, and you're going to have to explain to your parents that that this is the person you love, this is what you want to do together, and if they can't accept it, then that's that. It's those kinds of conversations that have to be had with this connection. But regardless, I feel the people who truly love and understand you will see that you have found the world here, that you feel at peace, that you feel complete. And this is part of why death came through. It's a rebirth. You become a whole different person. You feel more stable, more complete. It's almost like, again, that missing ingredient you didn't realize you needed. With the 5 of Wands and the 6 of Crystals. And beneath that is the 9 of Wands again. I feel like some of you don't mind the struggle. I feel like some of you, I'm not saying you welcome the backlash, but because you're somebody who's already so unconventional and so used to not going along with the status quo, you don't mind it. For some of you, it might come very natural to have to cut people off because they disagree with your lifestyle. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I don't know. It depends on you. This person very much supports and admires that about you as well. You're just both with each other needed. And you have so much to offer the world. And when you bring what you need to bring into this world, I feel like it's going to be something very miraculous, I'm hearing. Something that this world is needed. If we are going with the idea that this is a fertility, you could bring a child into the world who's going to create some amazing things or be a very impactful person on this planet. It's quite interesting. But this is all I'm getting. I am getting squares. I'm getting Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio. I'm also getting Libra here with Justice. These are the signs I'm getting. And the world, I think the world is all the signs. But those are the astrological signs I'm getting. Yeah, let's move on to the advice portion of this. I'm sorry that this reading is so odd and unconventional, but I feel like it's fitting considering that this connection is also odd and unconventional. But I feel like some of you are finally getting somebody or something that you've always wanted, or even a connection that has been much needed for you, pile 3. So I'm going to start with the Illuminator's Amulet. And this is a yes-no deck. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and ask a question. I will pull 2 cards and they can answer your question or give you some insight into it. So we have 2 for you. And then we're using the Cupid Says Oracle for messages from your person's higher self, which will be very interesting because they were not coming through too strongly in this connection. For some of you, I don't think you've met this person yet. This could be a look into your future. All right, so your person's higher self, what messages do they have coming through? Take the road less trodden. I definitely feel this is the case because this is an unconventional situation we're talking about. We have I miss you. Kiss, kiss, XX. We have 2 here. Absolutely not. Lie to me. This is actually you, pile 2 or 3. Sorry, pile 3. This is your higher self, or no, this is your ego talking. Okay. Your higher self is aware that you're kind of saying no to this initially, especially if this is something that you kind of have pondered over. But let's see. What's another? It starts from you. You actually initiate this. Believe it or not, I feel like you may have thought you would never find yourself in this kind of connection. And I feel like you're even eating your words right now. Let's say you thought I would never get in a connection with this kind of person. And then like years later, there you are eating your words. It starts from you. It's almost like the universe was like, I don't know, I wouldn't say that if I were you. So it's that kind of connection. Maybe we should stop here. Every single reading has had this one come up. Maybe I feel like everyone who's clicking on this reading today has had doubts about the connection that they're in. And it's not surprising that this is for you as well, pile 3. But I need messages from their person. This is all like, well, pile 3, either their ego or their higher self is trying to say. Okay, your person. The feeling is mutual. I feel like your person might be a little weirded out by this too. They're aware, but I feel like they're a lot more comfortable with it. Make me believe. You make each other believe in a lot more than what's going on. For some of you, I feel like this might be a little bit in the 5D. This is weird because I don't deal with like other planets or planetary things, like outside of astrology. I don't deal with like alien lifetimes, if that makes sense. I don't deal with any of that. But I feel like this is that kind of connection where you kind of met each other elsewhere. So it's very deep. Because I'm getting a very spacey feeling in my head right now. So you may have met each other in different lifetimes, in different forms. So it makes sense whenever you get together that what the things you create are from, they were agreed upon in different lifetimes. And that they would be something quite magical. As I'm laying my hand here, I have my eyes closed and I feel like a big beam of light coming from my hand. That is weird because I'm not intentionally trying to do that, but I feel like you and your person are doing just that. It's like your hands come together and you create this beautiful light. It makes sense when you stop talking about it in the 3D or through terrestrial perspectives, but like I can see why you make each other giddy. Okay, I'm gonna get a few more for you. If you're looking for a sign, this is it. If you haven't spoken to this person or taking a leap on this, have not shot your shot at this person, I think this is a sign. But of course, do what you will. I am not professional advice. Why am I crying? Because you've been waiting for this a while. It's weird. I cannot separate your energies from each other. They keep wanting to intermingle. As well as your ego being thrown in there a little bit. And sometimes it's about letting go of expectations. I'm hearing letting go of expectations and of judgments. And even of your own ego. Of anything that says lie to me and absolutely not. All right. Back of the deck energy. I'm going to go Now. Take it to the altar. Some of you might be getting married to somebody you never saw yourself getting married to, and cut through to find clarity. You'll be getting a lot of thoughts. You'll be getting a lot of opinions. But the clarity comes to you. Pile 3. Well, if you made it this far, thank you so much for staying with me and with this train of thought. Let me know in the comments what's going on. I would really like to know, because there's a lot of stuff going on in this connection and I have no idea what I just read. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I am sending you all my love. I will see you in the next reading. Take care.